Gentlemen, I think it's time we dive into what's everybody's favourite segment, especially because Ovie's back in the building and you've been talking a lot. So let's get into this. Yeah.
He's been doing the Patchy Beverly. He's been doing the Patchy Beverly.
Hey, let's do this. Now, I've been doing some thinking, gentlemen, and I've been thinking about LeBron's legacy. Everyone's talking about this as potentially going to be his fourth ring. So I don't want to devalue his greatness or anything. This is not a comparison conversation to Michael Jordan at all. We're not going to stick on that narrative. But as the Lakers are pushing for one of their first titles, especially in this decade, I've realized something. And it's something that's actually really, really important. And it's not just looking at LeBron James and his greatness, because as I said, we could have a whole conversation about that. It's noting the teammates that he has around him. So I'm actually going to give the first hot take for this week. And Mo, I'd love for you to go first because I'm taking Kyrie, Irving and Dwayne Wade into consideration when I say this, and I say it with my chest. Anthony Davis is the best teammate LeBron James has ever played with.
You know, Jaydee, about 5 minutes ago, I told you the third rule to life, which is don't ever play yourself. And saying that with your chest is a very bold statement to make. Now, you know, in the words of Mark Jackson, with all due respect to Anthony Davis, he's having a fantastic season. And, you know, if you're looking at it purely from numbers or stats or however you want to look at it, you can make that case for Anthony Davis. But LeBron and D Wade, that's an all-time iconic NBA duo. You know, Jay-Z has got bars about them. He's saying if Jeezy paying LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade. There ain't no bars about Anthony Davis. You know, that's an iconic duo. And you're looking at, from the teammate perspective, I just feel like the chemistry between LeBron and Wade, look at those iconic plays, you know, D-Wade throwing up the alley-oop for Bron. Those are iconic plays that are going to go down in the history of the NBA record books. And, you know, if we're talking about the on-court stuff, I know D-Wade wasn't quite flash when LeBron went over to Miami, but he was still a force to be reckoned with. He was the 09 scoring champ. LeBron went there a season or two later on. And then his first season with LeBron, he put up 26, 6, and 5. Now, I know Anthony Davis his numbers might look better, but what you've got to take into account is that D-Wade was part of a big three. LeBron and AD, they're just a big two. They're a duo that are playing. So for me, you can't really take statistics into account. So I'm looking at it like this. You know, the way I see it is, you know, once LeBron is old and retired, if he ever gets old and if he ever retires, but if he looks back on his career and he can pick one guy to play with again, I feel like, I don't know LeBron personally, so I can't speak for him, but in my opinion, I feel like he would rather play with D-Wade than anyone else he's ever played alongside.
Now, Mo, I respect everything you just said, man, and said, but when LeBron James won a championship in Cleveland, back with Kyrie in 2016, look, that was incredible. Like, we have never seen a close to an NBA Finals like that and those moments ever again. That's something of a movie. Yeah, LeBron in Miami, I'm giving it to you because him and D-Wade at that moment in time were arguably the best duo. Well, it could be in history they could turn around and put up there. But Ovie, I'm turning around and telling you, I'm looking at the individual brilliance of Anthony Davis, especially over this stretch. And we just saw the statistics roll out across the bottom. Tell me this is not LeBron's best ever teammate.
You know what? I thought Mo was going to go in a different direction, but forget what Mo's talking about. You know, I agree. I agree. In my opinion,
Yeah.
No, in my opinion, I agree with Mo. Sorry, not you. Apologies. I just think what Dwayne Wade was able to do alongside LeBron James, and you know, a key word you put in there was teammate. You know, the way those guys were able to gel, I think it was insane. You know, it seemed like they had been playing together for absolutely years. I think the difference between Anthony Davis and then Kyrie Irving, those two guys are definitely talented, and we see them take over the game from time to time. But it just seemed like while LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were on the court together, they were able to play off each other extremely well, which made those guys, you know, tough to handle. But yeah, I can't quite give it to AD, not off this bubble performance, not off just 1 year. And at the same time, you have to take into consideration everyone was against the Miami Heat when those guys first got together. They were the villains pulling up in every city. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers this year, I don't think it's quite the same. You know, you've got a couple different teams that people think could have done some stuff. But, you know, there's a lot of different things to take into consideration. But no, I can't give it to AD. Not yet.
BJ, I'm looking at the performances of LeBron James, and this is the first time I've ever seen it in his long career that I feel like he's allowing another teammate, not just in the clutch moments, but to dominate for whole quarters, even sometimes halves. I just look at it. He's allowing Anthony Davis to become the ultimate aggressor in certain moments and take over completely. I haven't seen him trust another teammate like that during his tenure. How do you feel?
Well, Jaydee, in watching LeBron James, I've had an opportunity to watch him play since high school. And you must remember, guys, this is not prime LeBron James. The prime LeBron James is what we call, for better or for worse, a standalone player. LeBron James could play with anyone and was going to be the great player because he's just a magnificent talent. This is the first time that he's actually needs another player to be LeBron James, and that player happens to be right now Anthony Davis. Years before, it didn't really matter. I thought Dwayne Wade in particular fit what LeBron James does naturally. Athletic ability and versatility, and you put that with Dwayne Wade, now you're taking advantage of all of the aspects of his game, playing in transition, switching, causing havoc on the defensive end. Anthony Davis now for LeBron James is the perfect combination. Why? Because he can play a quarter, or two, an entire game, and allow LeBron James to do what he's never had to do before. He has to defer. He needs that at this stage of his career, even though, he's aging gracefully, because he really is. I mean, for him to have the amount of miles on his body and what he's been able to do and sustain this for this length of time is really an incredible feat for any player, and in particular LeBron James, because he's done this time and time and time again. But he needs Anthony Davis now, and this is the first time that I've ever seen him have to defer, because he's at that stage of his career where he's going to have to, really pick and choose his moments to when to try to take over a game, because, doing it for 48 minutes, on a night-to-night basis, that's pretty difficult at this time of his career.
So I think I got a yes from BJ there. I don't know about you guys, but I think I got a yes to BJ there. I think I got a yes from BJ.
Let's ask him, BJ. Who's LeBron's first ever teammate?
Well, I would pick Dwayne Wade. I would pick Dwayne Wade as his best teammate, and because LeBron James has never deferred. He's never had to defer. I've been watching him since high school. He's never, ever not been the best player on his team. And even when he went to Miami, he didn't defer. He didn't want to defer. And it happened, and you could see the connection that he had with Dwayne Wade then. But right now, he really needs Anthony Davis. And I give him credit for knowing where he's at in his career. And that's always important to have self-reflection as a player. So, but I think at the right time, you know what? The music will play.
Was that LeBron calling? Was he upset about
that was probably LeBron calling, going, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" But no, I think Dwayne Wade. I think it was Dwayne Wade was his best teammate.